Good morning, fourth grade. All right, so for today's Monday video, we're going to work on adding numbers within a word problem, okay? But before we start our word problems, I want to do a little bit of review on some multi-digit addition problems. So we're going to go ahead and start with the number 8,314 plus 2,493, just as a review. Okay. So if we're going to start adding this large number up, we're going to go ahead and start as we would always when adding, starting with our ones place, okay? We have 4 and 3, so 4 plus 3 is 7. 1 plus 9 is 10. I can't write 10 here, so I'm just going to write this off to my side so I can see and so that you can understand what I'm doing as I'm saying it, okay? So I know that 1 plus 9 is 10. The 0 is in the ones place. The 0 belongs here. The 1 is in the tens place, so it has to get carried over into the next place value. Okay? 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Anytime you have more than 3 digits, you have to insert a comma. So 1, 2, 3, comma. The sum of 8,314 and 2,493 is 10,807. When you're working on any kind of math or any kind of work in general, it's best practice to check your work. So just go over. So if I went from 4 to 3, this time I'm going to do it a little bit different so that I'm not doing the exact same thing, likely to make the same mistake if at all. Okay, so I'm going to go this way. 3 plus 4, 7. 9 plus 1, still 10. Carry my 1. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8, 2 plus 8 is 10. Okay, so it's always best practice to check your work. Okay, we're going to do one more, again, just for a review before we get into our word problems. Next problem is 34,698 plus 71,840. All right, so adding up this large number together. Again, starting with our ones place, 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 4 is, I'm writing that number off to the side because I know that 3 is in my ones place. 3 is the only number that goes here because the 1 goes to the next place value. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. 5 is in that ones place. 5 goes here, while the 1 goes in the next place value. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 7 is 10. Again, if you have a number greater than 3 digits, you need to make sure you insert that comma after every 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I don't have to have a comma in here because there's nothing in front of that comma. Okay? So again, make sure you're checking your work. Don't do the exact same thing that you did because then you're going to get the exact same answer. So just reverse it however slight that you can. 0 plus 8 is 8. 4 plus 9 is 13 still. 8 plus 6 is 14. Plus 1 is 15 still. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 7 plus 3 is 10. So again, my sum is 106,538. All right, moving on, where I'm going to do a quick pause so I can go ahead and make sure I have the next problem ready for you. And unpaused. All right, so sometimes our word problems are going to be in the form of a chart or table group of information. So in this particular problem, the information that's presented, we have to be able to understand and show a good understanding of. All right, so we have on the left side school, and there are 4 different schools listed with, on the right side, number of students for each school. So this information tells me that at Lake Duluth, there are 468 students that attend Lake Duluth. There are 606 students that attend Sunnycrest. 497 at Camelot, and 545 at Rainier View. Again, this is not exact information. I'm just using schools that we may have heard of and just made up some numbers, okay? Probably pretty close to what's true, but not exact. So again, being creative with their numbers. All right. So this particular word problem, we might see a problem that reads, how many students total go to these 4 schools? So when you have a question dealing with a table or chart of information, we need to make sure that we're first able to understand what the information presented is, how it's presented, and what the question is asking us to do. I'm going to read the question one more time. Sorry, I just don't have enough space over here. How many students total go to these 4 schools? So the question is asking how many total students attend all 4 of these schools. So what are we going to do with these numbers? Yep, we're going to add them up, okay, because we're looking for a total. We're looking for the sum. A couple different ways to do this. This is a large group of numbers. We can just go right down the center and right down the lines and just start adding. But sometimes when we have a lot of numbers, we get easily confused because there's a lot going on. So if we just separate some of the numbers and do it a little bit at a time, so saving some space off to the side, and I'm going to have 468 plus 606. I'm going to do those 2 first, and then I'm going to do those 2. So I'm not so confused, okay? Again, this is one method. You could just go down the line, 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 5, carry it over and do that the same way, okay? Or you can do it both ways, one this way, second way this way, and check your work, okay? 8 plus 6 is, I just write it over to the side so you know what I'm doing. 8 plus 6 is 14. The 4 is in the ones place. 1 needs to go over to the next place. I'm done with the numbers, so I'm going to cross it off so I know I don't need to do anything else with it, okay? 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 4 plus 6 is 10. Comma. All right, so now I have what 468 and 606 add up to. So now I still need to add these 2. I can just add one at a time or just add these 2 and then add the total. So I'm just going to go ahead and add 497 here. 4 plus 7 is 11. 1 is in the ones place. Carry over that 1. 7 plus 9 is 16. Plus that 1 is 17. That's 17 in that ones place. Carry over that 1. And with that, 0 plus 4 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. 1 plus nothing, just bring down that 1. Here we go. Okay, last number that we need to add. Okay, sometimes when we are working with so many numbers, we forget what we're doing along the way. So keep track of what you're doing. Okay, make sure you've included all of the moving parts. Last number we're adding is 545. 1 plus 5 is 6. 7 plus 4 is 11 with that 1 in that ones place. Put that 1 in the next place value. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Carry over that 1, and it's 2. Bring it down. Okay. So when you're doing a problem such as this, because there are a lot of numbers, you really do need to check your work. You need to check your work always, but checking your work in a problem such as this, because there are so many numbers, is even more important because there's more room for you to make a silly mistake, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and double check my work using the first strategy of just kind of adding these up as they are. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus 5 is 26. So that's a lot of numbers that I'm trying to keep track of. If you want that system of writing it down off to the side, you can do that. Or if you just want to chunk up how you're adding it, that's okay too. 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 plus 4 is 19. 19 plus 2 is 21. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 5 is 19. 19 plus 2 is 21, comma right there. and I'm going to take a look and compare. I added them up 2 different ways, still got the same answer, so this checks my work. That's the importance of checking your work. I could have made a lot of silly mistakes along the way, but this helps me to make sure my work is correct and complete. Okay? All right. I'm going to need a little bit more space on my whiteboard, so I'm going to go ahead and pause right here so I can give you the next word problem. All right, ta-da! Here's our first word problem. All right, when we're reading a word problem, it's always best to close read. Okay, some of the close reading skills that we use for ELA, we can also use for math. So when we read this problem, we're going to have to read it multiple times to make sure we understand and where we are answering the best that we can, okay? So first read through. For the bake sale, Emma baked 124 cookies. Ethan baked 49 more cookies than Emma. How many cookies did Emma and Ethan bake? All right, so first thing we need to do is figure out what operation are we performing in this particular word problem. Are there any word clues that tell us a little bit more about what we are doing as far as an operation? All right, so when we look at the question, okay, you can tell which one is the question because it has that question mark. It tells you what you're going to do. We want to figure out how many cookies Emma and Ethan baked. So if we're going to figure out how many cookies Ethan and Emma baked, we need to find a total for those numbers, right? Okay. When we reread this word problem, we want to make sure we're not just looking at the question. We're not just looking at the label and the numbers, but what the numbers represent, okay? For the bake sale, Emma baked 124 cookies. So if I go ahead and start, maybe using a tape diagram. Okay. Tape diagram is going to just represent, and I can go ahead and write 124 here just to save some space. That represents cookies. Emma bakes 124 cookies. Right under, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready to show how many Ethan bakes. Ethan baked 49 more cookies than Emma. I could see a lot of possible mistakes where we're just adding up the 2 numbers that are in the word problem. But the problem with that is that that's not what the question is asking us to do. So make sure that you're not just looking at the obvious numbers, but you're going back to read and reread what we're trying to figure out. We know that Emma has 124 cookies that she's baked. Ethan baked 49 more cookies than what Emma baked. So if we know that Ethan baked 49 more than what Emma baked, the representation, the visual of what we're going to show and how we can show that as a tape diagram could represent something similar to this, okay? So the tape diagram, what's great about that is that it shows the comparison from one thing to another thing and how we can add on to an already existing number. So we know that Emma has baked 124 cookies. Ethan baked 49 more cookies than what Emma baked. So this tape diagram here, where it shows 124, it's as close to even as I can without a ruler, okay? But also 49 more. So now that we have the tape diagram, now we have to do the actual operation, okay? So what am I going to add to get my answer? Remember, how many cookies did Emma and Ethan bake? I know that the total for Emma is 124. What is Ethan's total? Okay, Ethan's total is going to be 124 and 49 combined. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. 124 plus 49. 4 plus 9, writing that number. 3 is in our ones place. 1 is in the tens place. I'm done with that number. 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 1, bring it down, is 173. I'm going to check my work real quick. Go the opposite way. 9 plus 4 is 13. Yes, it is. 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Bring down that 1. All right. So Ethan's total was 49 more than what Emma had. 124 plus 49 gives you 173. So, multi-steps in this particular word problem. We know Emma has 124 cookies that she's made. Ethan made 173. Go back to the question, how many cookies did Emma and Ethan bake? Now that we know how many Emma made, how many Ethan made, what do we do with these two numbers? Yeah, we add it up. I'm going to move this equation sign, equal sign, and add it up right here. 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 plus 7 is 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. Checking my work, I'm going to go the opposite direction. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So if I were, we talk about level of work all the time. And if this were a quiz problem or an assignment problem, and if you came up with this answer, I would say good job. But is it correct and complete to the best of your abilities? What is missing from this answer of 297? If you said label really quickly, good job. We're missing a label. So if you don't remember, go back to the question where the question mark is. Find that question mark. It tells you everything that you need. How many cookies did Emma and Ethan bake? So 297 represents what? Amounts of what? Cookies. So if you write 297 cookies, that is a good level 3 body of work because you had the answer complete with 297 and it's labeled cookies. Okay, going to additional ways where you can really show different ways in which you've done this. You can show it this way, you can show it this way, and write it in a sentence just to go that a little extra bit, okay? So how would we write 297 cookies in a nice, using that race strategy sentence? How many cookies did Emma and Ethan bake? Emma and Ethan baked 297 cookies. Okay, that is not the only way to restate that. That is one of many different ways. You could say Emma and Ethan baked 297 cookies altogether, or both students baked 297 cookies. Emma and Ethan both baked 297 cookies together. Okay, lots of different ways, but to include the answer, its label, and restating that question is really excellent work, okay? All right, so today's work, we are working on adding numbers within a word problem. Okay, again, not just looking at the numbers, but understanding what the question is asking you to do. Today we worked on using a tape diagram, but also alternative strategies like using that standard algorithm, but also race strategies as well. Okay, I'm going to pause one more time and I'm going to give you your assignment on this video. Okay. All right, so today's assignment, what I want you to either take a picture of after you've done the work. Doing the work means writing both problems down and showing your work on a piece of paper, taking a picture, and uploading it, or sending it through a Google Doc. Okay, so number 1, 210,596 plus 39,968. You're not sure what one of the numbers are, just go back, listen to the video. I'm pretty sure I said it pretty clearly. All right, and number 2, only 2 questions for your assignment. Number 2, on Saturday, 35,755 more bus tickets were sold than on Sunday. On Sunday, only 18,952 tickets were sold. How many people bought tickets over the weekend? Saturday and Sunday are the weekend. You do need to use a tape diagram to show the work. You can show your work additionally as a standard algorithm as well. Remember, you're needing to check your work. Remember the things that we talked about within our word problem. Don't just directly look at the numbers and add those 2 numbers up. What do those numbers represent, and how are we adding those numbers up? Okay, so again, number 1, standard algorithm math problem. Number 2, word problem using a tape diagram. If you have any questions, please let me know what those questions are and we can troubleshoot together. Otherwise, good luck. I know you guys got this. Do your best, work hard, try, and have a good time. Math is fun. Make it fun. Do your best. All right, you got this.